Welcome to Everybody Gets 15 Minutes here at Waterloo Records in Austin, Texas. A conversation with some of our favorite acts we have the privilege of hosting live in store right here on our stage. I'm Gus Ochoa, and this is Nightcap. Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Good. We've got, let me see if I got this right. Ryan?
Yes, sir.
Alex?
Nailed it.
Jake?
Bingo.
Sweet. My Post-it notes are paying off. I'm so excited. Have you guys been to our shop before, the new one?
Not the new one.
No, this is the first time for me.
I've stopped in a couple times.
Yeah.
I think the week y'all open, I came in, and no, it looks great. It's even more put together than the day one, and it's coming together. It's looking awesome. It's awesome to be in this room too.
Yeah,
the cowhides are fantastic.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
our owners would be so pleased to hear that. We've the people that have sat down with me for a little bit, people are pretty stoked, and so that's always a good thing. So yeah, did you guys ever play the old shop, or were you ever over there?
This is our first time playing, but
Cool.
I know we had seen. I think all of us individually definitely made it a point to, over the last 10 plus years, go see shows in the old shop. So.
Yeah, it definitely had a vibe. I've been hearing from people that come now to play that they still feel that here, which I'm really stoked about, because you guys are going to play later, and I'm hoping you get that same sensation.
yeah, definitely.
Little more space on this stage, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I remember we had Superphonicos play up there one time, and everybody, they're like a 12-piece band.
Did they get all of them up there?
Dude, no. It was like some of them were on the floor.
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
in front.
We've done those shows as well when we some of our horn guys, our brass section that we played shows with in the past. Whenever they'll come out, and we played some small stages with them, and they just love getting in the crowd and doing that anyway. So
that's
kind of
live stereo. You get someone to the right, someone to the left.
Oh, we had Ride play our store one time. You know those guys, right? I think we had something set up on the stage already, and for some weird reason we couldn't move it. But they sat down the front and did like an acoustic set, and it was tremendous.
That's cool.
It was really, really cool. Okay, so I'm not here to talk about all those other bands. I'm here to talk about Nightcap. Yeah, tell us a little bit about like the name and how you guys met and that sort of thing for folks who like aren't familiar.
Well, we met all at University of Texas here, moved up. Jake and I are from the Texas Hill Country down here, and Alex is from South Florida. So we all kind of met at UT whenever we were going to school there. And I think as far as the name goes, we bounced a lot of ideas off whenever we were first jamming and seeing what kind of fit the vibe and fit the energy. But at the time, it was what we were doing is storytelling. And I think one of my best favorite memories growing up was just sitting on the porch with my dad, who would say like, "Hey, I'm gonna have a nightcap," and we'd sit on the porch and he'd tell me a story about his life. And through all of those, you accumulate so many more stories, and I felt like that was pretty appropriate and fit the vibe of the energy of the music. And I think whenever we first made the band, it was like, what is something that encapsulates the energy of maybe the last thing that happens in a day and that you can wind down to, or something, that can bring you back up and create more energy in the night as well. So yeah, I think that is where the name sort of spawned from. But
yeah, and also when you start playing in a band in Austin, Texas, you get a lot of 1 a.m. set times. So.
yeah,
yes, absolutely. I kind of love that family connection, though. What's crazy is is sitting with the people that I've sat with so far that have played. A lot of that's coming up in the names. I haven't sat with Otis Wilkins yet, but I'm going to, and I know that's that's a family connection. Briscoe was talking about that name being a family connection, and you having that story there. I love that. I think that's a great place to start. Does it anchor you more to the music when it has that sort of connection in that way? Do you feel like more?
I think so, in the context that what we're doing, the stories that we're telling, the point of them are to connect with somebody, much like sitting on a porch telling a story. I think all the best ideas, maybe not the best ideas, but the stories and messages that have the ability to resonate with the most amount of people often are the same ones that you could sit on a front porch and talk with your dad or your friend or your brother or sister, whatever it is. And that's definitely what we've tried to accomplish with this second album as well.
I love that. I mean, speaking of, I've got it right here for those, people watching. Here we go.
Oh yeah, there's the shot.
There you are.
Colored vinyl.
They wanted me to make a big point about the colored vinyl. You guys are stoked about this, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah. No, it was very, very exciting, because we got to, for the first time, work with Gold Rush Vinyl here in Austin. We didn't have the opportunity to do that on the first record because we had some just restrictions on where we could go for vinyl, but was really excited on this one to be able to go local, a shop that we've seen great work from, that we've had a lot of friends work with. And it's really awesome to be able to go to the facility. And I know we're super big on the vinyl, and just the physical media is so special. And, we put a lot of time into the mixing, the mastering, the vinyl mastering. So it really is a nice little bow at the end of a process to hold that in your hand and go, we did this, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. And full disclosure, all our listeners, a co-owner of Waterloo Records is Karen Kelleher, the owner of Gold Rush Vinyl.
Oh, nice. So, accidental plug.
Yeah, there
you go.
That's why we did it.
Karen will be super stoked about that too. Awesome. So yeah, I was listening to the record on the way in. I like to do that. Obviously, what's been made available online to stream. The single Lost is pretty great. It reminds me of something that would, and again, I think that we were talking about this a little bit, Ryan, Alex, before we sat down, but it reminds me of stuff that might sit alongside of Cage or I don't know, for me, even Foles. I like Foles quite a bit.
Foles.
That's a huge
you
North
say that
Star
name in this
us.
household.
Yeah.
I mean, love it.
It's not, it seems like a kind of sound that would sit right alongside that, which makes me personally very happy being an Austinite and stoked about the whatever indie pop, indie rock, whatever kind of scene you want to talk about. I was telling you about S.L. Hauser and Otis again. I feel like you guys, I feel like we're building a good, strong, community in that way here. And I love that. How did y'all settle on the sound that you were kind of going for this record? Where does that come from?
Yeah. I'll always remember that when we put out our first couple songs, there was always some commentary of what is the sound? And it's just wait, we have a lot of influences, but at the end of the day, I think music, especially in the time we've been in a band, is continuing to push, more genreless. Every genre is now seems like it has influences of all these different genres. So one thing that we really wanted out of this one was to kind of not get bored as you're listening to it. And it wasn't necessarily an intent to go, hey, let's write a song like this. Let's write a song like this. But in the way that our creative process goes and the way we write, I think that there's times where, we'll wake up in the morning and we'll be energetic. And so the music we write reflects that. And I don't think we have necessarily a particular headspace that we all go into for songwriting. And so what was great was, we kind of had some songs all the way done. We had some songs that were 20, 30% done. We had some songs that we felt were right there. And we took the 13 songs that are on that to the studio, expecting to only probably cut 10 of them. And this was the first time we really got to sit for, a full week in a studio and hash out the record and really collaboratively, right? Not just with us, but with the producers on the record, some of our friends, Max and Benji in a band called Slender Bodies, who are collaborators with us. It really felt cohesive at the end. And then the process of ordering the album was fun and challenging, but we felt like we came away with, something that feels really good.
Yeah. Again, what I've heard that's available. I mean, I'm just, I don't know. It gives me hope for, we talked a little bit beforehand, Alex, about that circular thing that happens, the scenes come and go kind of thing, or in the 70s, the Cosmic Cowboy. And when I was a kid, it was I'm giving my age away, right? But it was the blues and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's been different sort of resurgences over the years, and I don't know, just a record like this and your sound feels like it's oh cool, let's really lean into that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think even what we were talking about earlier of bands, whenever we were first starting the band that were huge inspos that were from the Austin area, Spoon is a huge one that we've been listening to. I mean, I've been listening to Spoon since I was a kid, not even knowing that they were even in Austin.
They're so good,
just around here, and it's cool to. I would say Spoon is maybe one of the bands closest locally to Austin that this record maybe could be inspired by. But yeah, it's really cool it's just cool to finish up a project like this, and I think we've been sitting with it now for Not even that long, maybe
front,
like 6 months.
Front to back, we knocked this thing out pretty quick, which is also nice, being able to start something, record it, and release it while you're still energetic about it. Not that we think that we'll ever not be energetic about this, but the longer you sit with something before it's released, you're creative. You've listened to it 1,000 times and the world hasn't listened to it once. And so the quicker you get it out, has definitely felt like, it's coming out tomorrow, and we feel very energized around it. And on the songwriting thing, I think, and to the thing with cyclicality of music and things getting, more popular, less popular, with us, I think we're all very true individually to the influences we have. And while we have a couple that we share, we all have, artists that each other doesn't listen to. And I think what's really fun about being a band and growing and writing over a long period of time is watching the way that, we work with each other, both alongside and around each other's influences, and eventually, continue to develop an increasingly cohesive sound whilst also being open to all the amazing new music that comes out all the time. But I think really sticking to the core of what we are and developing that, I think in a lot of ways, the first record we love and we're proud of, and people are like, well, what's new about the second album? It's just better. We feel like we took the same approach, but we're more mature as songwriters. We've worked together. We're a team. You get better the more you take reps with somebody, and we've been writing more songs together. We've worked together longer. We understand the ways that, fire each other up or down. And so there's something about that process that's really fulfilling.
Right on. Speaking of that, I'm going to say the album's name. I hope I said it already, but it's called It's Happening. You should definitely check it out. We've got it for sale here at Waterloo, obviously. So on the songwriting tip, like, how are the duties divvied up? I mean, do you guys have one person who sort of brings things to the table, or is there? It's
kind of ranged. I think so about 4 years ago, we've always wanted to bring the most value that we can to ourselves as artists, songwriters, instrumentalists, whatever it is. And I think it all started about 4 years ago. We were really kind of working and understanding the mix process and figuring out like what is our sound, because the mix will define your sound. Even if you play, I mean, you could play something upside down and a mix can just completely change that. So being more intentional about how the mixing process goes. I think we reached out to Jakir King, who's just, we're all big Kings of Leon fans, and like just sent him a cold email one day and was like, hey, we would really love it if you had the bandwidth to maybe mix some of our music, or, whatever you thought. And he was like, yeah, I really enjoy the music, but I don't really have the time at the moment. But here's my, longtime colleague, right-hand man, Colton Lee, who's been our mix engineer since. And since knowing him, he's been a huge mentor in the production process, demoing, writing, and just working more in the box and recording ideas that come. So that's been a big help and a big influence in a lot of just being able to throw stuff at the wall and then not really worrying about saying the next day, just scrapping it, because it didn't cost us $500 in the studio to do that. So we feel obligated to finish it.
And to answer your question, I mean, like, there were songs that all of us were in the room for the inception of each song. There were songs that individually we were separate for. So it's, but at the end of the day, it kind of came together and finished everything together. But like that, for example, this is a fun story. So like that, it was
the first track on the record.
Track. So we had picked out the 11 songs, 13 songs on the record. And, or I guess at the time it picked out 11 songs on the record. And then on the Monday before we went to the studio, it was my birthday, and a couple of friends and Ryan was there, and, said, hey, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, I just want to write a really fun song before we go to the studio. And so 4 days before we went to the studio, we wrote a demo for that and then recorded it on the record that weekend. And it was like, and that's a pretty unique way that the song came about versus Lost, I believe, was one that Jake was just working with Benji one day, and they created a demo. And then
talking about heartbreak, he's like, how about we put it in some music? And so you never know where one of those demos is going to take you. I think a lot of the time you're just messing around.
Yeah, so sometimes it's really intentional, like we're going to write a song today, and sometimes it's like it's just an outlet for something else. So, and I think a really big point on this record was making sure that like, you know, everybody has an ego, everybody wants to tell their own story, but recognizing that like the story is a band story, and some of these messages and the moments in these songs and motifs are things that resonate with a lot of people, and not, you know, withholding, you know, something that could be unifying from it, and really treating it as more of a what serves the song, not what serves you.
Wow. I was just about to ask, like, in that vein, I've read some stuff that, you know, they talk about this record, maturity or reflection or emotional clarity. Like, these are things that have been written about, you know,
certainly
reviews for you guys. Like, and reviews are helpful for sure. Like,
oh, those are reviews for
that I've read.
Yeah, you were talking about
that I've read. No, like, seriously. And it's like you're just like saying like exactly what folks have said, which I think is great. But like, where did this collection of songs come from for you guys? Like, where does it come from? Like,
this was a great batch of music because, as we were talking about, the first album was kind of a collection of a bunch of our older songs. Mm-hmm. This album was very much all fresh material that we have written over the past maybe year and some change. Mm-hmm. You know, time is strange, but I think all the songs came from honest and true places of challenge, growth, change, and really, I mean, it reckons with like all the different varying levels of clarity and varying levels of acceptance, you know, grief and heartbreak, but also in a very like hopeful and true and like a beautiful way also. And, you know, some of them were turning darkness into light, you know, like we were talking about earlier, mm-hmm. or some of them were, you know, trying to explore the levels of understanding, just trying to get to the bottom of something and understand ourselves and how we operate in the world. And
I think the first record was a very like dreamy, overly positive view on just life and occurrences in life. And I think this record just, you know, on the point of maturity and, you know, writing songs when you're 17 versus writing songs when you're late 20s, this record has a lot of reality and a lot of dealing with, you know, things that feel very negative, but recognizing that negativity is a learning point. It's a turning point. And, you know, it's happening, I think, is all about the process of moving through change and growing. And how quickly it feels like all that's happening to you. You know, it always feels in the moment like it's, you know, the world could be ending or that it's never going to change, but just acknowledging that change is a constant process.
And that phrase, it's happening, is just so matter of fact. It's like you like the relinquishment of control of like what things may be, will be, and just going through it. Because it is happening.
Like just that acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Do y'all have, I always like to ask, I mean, obviously like all of these songs, you wouldn't have put them down if you didn't love them all, but do you have certain ones that stick out to you more that you're, you know, that you're thinking,
they've always
this is what I want people to listen to?
Which what's we can do everybody's favorite. What's your favorite, Jake?
You know, it used to be another one, but I think these days I'm really liking Will You Call. It's kind of grown on me.
That's definitely grown.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, you know, I to Jake's point, I think it always changes, and I think for me, it would probably go with Hypnotizer, just because it's such a different thing for us. I think it's the only time we've ever referenced Cyndi Lauper in the writing process of the song.
That's amazing.
So very, very happy with that one.
Deep pull. I love all of our bitches.
Okay.
Treat them equally.
I really enjoy. I love the spontaneity of like that. I love the origin of Will You Call. I think.
What's your favorite?
What do you think? What do you think people out there listening should be like? Hey, I'm going to need to check out this track. It's so good.
I think Can't Get Enough is maybe. Running from a Feeling.
No.
This is what I love, though. You guys
say your name.
I will say Say Your Name is the first one I could tell that my dad actually liked the song and not just because his son was part of it. So Say Your Name's a good one, you know, for I think a lot of people. It's also the hardest rock we've gone, you know, like Hypnotizer and Orange Soda Can't Get Enough are so far on one end of the spectrum, and Say Your Name is also far on the opposite end of the spectrum, or like just the loudest, most, you know, fun live song I think we had.
Well, I mean, I love that. I love asking acts like what their favorite
That was hard.
What their favorite tracks are. That was an evil question. No, it's not an evil question. I don't mean it to be evil. I just, when people are listening, I want them to think, oh man, yeah, I should go check that song out. I think this song out.
Definitely. I think there's something for all different tastes on this album, and depending on if you like really like slow acoustic folk stuff, there's a song for you. If you like more of like Alabama Shakes vibe, there's something for you. If you like Killers vibe, something for you. Spoon. Foles was an awesome ref.
That's something
been one of our collective favorite bands.
It's something that stuck out to me. I don't know why. Just hearing the sound, I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
On the subject of other bands, I always like to ask too, like, what do you guys listen to these days? Like, as you get out and you promote it's happening, like what records are you hearing that you're like, oh yeah, I love that?
I won't say it necessarily informed this album, but I gotta say the new Wet Leg album, Moisturizer, is on repeat daily.
Love that.
Heck yeah.
Love that.
What about you?
You go.
Oh, he's cooking. He's cooking.
Alex is cooking. All right, Ryan.
I've been listening to a lot of the new Joe Keery, the Joe album.
Oh yeah.
Crux Deluxe.
Yeah.
That's been a really cool, just sort of experiment with. I can tell just a ton of different references, and I respect his approach to music as well. Like doing a lot of self-production, demoing, and then growing and evolving into taking very intentional reference points and pulling them into a sound that I think is very truthful. And I think it's something that was super inspiring for this album too. Just with the range of, whatever genres are on this album, that was something in the studio that we were really chasing, was just the truth, whatever version of the truth felt good for that song and felt real. And that's been a good album to really enjoy.
Nice. All right, Alex, what's up?
Yeah, I so weirdly enough, I think when you're so deep in your own music, and I think whenever you're deep in anything you're doing, sometimes it's nice to listen to stuff that's not like you. So definitely been listening to a lot of like older reggae music and stuff like that. But as far as like stuff that's like inspiring, or I'm like, wow, I wish I made that. The new Balu Brigada album is fantastic. Killer. And then this band Almost Monday, I just think like absolutely is incredible. And then infinite shout out forever to Holly Humberstone, because I will never put those records down.
Fantastic.
There you go.
She's the best.
I love it. Thanks so much for that, guys. Nightcap, Brian, Alex, Jake, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for chatting with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Nightcap's latest is available everywhere you stream your music, and you can pick up your copy on vinyl or CD right here at Waterloo Records. You can follow Nightcap on Instagram at NightcapATX.
Beautiful.
Thank you all for listening out there. You can follow us on Instagram at Waterloo Records and at Waterloo.sound for our Dolby Atmos studio. You can even follow the adventures of our van at Waterloo_wheels. I'd like to thank Cory Reinisch, our marketing manager, for making these in-stores happen. Allie Lingren, our in-house engineer there in the corner, for dialing it in. And finally, to our incredibly awesome staff, without which none of this is possible. I'm Gus Ochoa. Until next time, support the artists you love, support your local record store. And if you're in Austin, stop in and say hey. We'd love to see you. Adios.